Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy Nuclear Athlete here, and welcome to an NFL Week 15 update and news. If you guys remember my last video, I went over some Minnesota sports news and rumors that were going around. So I thought today I would do another one for Week 15 of the NFL season, and with the NBA season about to kick off tonight with the Los Angeles Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets. For starters in NFL Week 15, very interesting week when it came to a lot of games. First off, Texans and Colts. Colts beating the Texans pretty well, 27-20. Texans had a chance to rally and fumbled again at the goal line. It's twice this happened this year, and you got to feel bad for Deshaun Watson, man. I mean, he has all the talent in the world. He just doesn't have an offense around him, and he doesn't have a great defense anymore. Um, so you got to feel bad for the Texans organization. They don't even have a good first-round pick this year in that DeAndre Hopkins trade, and that really killed them. Moving on to the Eagles and the Cardinals, 26-33 final score with the Cardinals coming up on top. Jalen Hurts is continuing to ball out, and I really believe that had he started or even played early on in the season, he'd honestly be a contender for Rookie of the Year. Jalen Hurts, I believe, threw for 3 touchdowns, played very well, but just couldn't seal the game against Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. Moving on to the Jets and the Rams, one of the biggest shockers of this week on Sunday night football. I believe it was Sunday Night Football. Jets came away with their first one of the season at 23-20. Their defense held strong, had a pick against Jared Goff, and then their offense continued to click against a surprisingly, not a surprisingly, but very well uh, built together Rams defense. Don't know how they gave up 23 points, but this is football in 2020. Next was the Chiefs and the Saints. Excuse me. Chiefs come away with a 32-29 win with Drew Brees returning, and you can tell that Drew Brees wasn't 100%. Still able to have a pretty close game, but it's Patrick Mahomes at 100%, Travis Kelce at 100%, Tyreek Hill at 100%. That's just going to be a victory for the Chiefs almost every week. Moving on to the Browns and the Giants. Browns taking a 20-6 victory with Baker Mayfield playing out of his mind. I mean, you look at him the last few weeks, he's really been doing some spectacular things, and you really just got to be impressed with this guy. Vikings, of course, falling to the Chicago Bears, even though I bragged up the Minnesota Vikings all last week or the other day. Just our defense, man. It really is our defense. Unable to contain anybody, unable to stop Ty Montgomery. Or is it Ty Montgomery? Maybe you guys can correct me. Allen Robinson was killing us again, but we just can't ever seem to do well against Mitch Trubisky. And I can't even blame the offense. Yeah, there were some plays here and there where Kirk needed to be better, but honestly, Kirk Cousins still playing very good football. Justin Jefferson's out of his mind, good. Adam Thielen's solid. Dalvin Cook is arguably either the best or the second best back in the league. Um, so it's really just our defense, and I think Zimmer's got to address that D line this year. We need another good D tackle. We need another good D end. With us no longer having Yannick Ngakoue, no longer having Everson Griffin, and then our D line just got to get better. Our front two. Shamar Stephen and I believe Jewel Johnson are our two starting defensive tackles. Yeah, that's not going to do it. um, they're not good pass rushers. Honestly, the best pass rusher on that front seven when Eric Kendricks is not in the lineup is, in my opinion, it's DJ Wanham or Ifeadi Odenigbo. Both of them have been having decent seasons, but of course, DJ Wanham's a rookie, and Ifeadi Odenigbo barely got any playing time these last few years, except this year and last year, where he had to step in. 49ers and Cowboys. Cowboys coming away with a 41-33 victory against the uh, against the Niners. Andy Dalton balled out. Zeke did decent. Actually, no, excuse me. Tony Pollard had a great game, 2 touchdowns, almost 100 rushing yards. Um, and so, yeah. Packers, of course, winning on Saturday against the Carolina Panthers. I don't remember all the other games. You guys can let me know those scores. And then the big game that I want to talk about is the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. 27-17 final score um, in Cincinnati. And I got to say, Juju's got to stop dancing. Juju's got to stop dancing on that logo. It's not helping his team. And it's actually what I think it was Von Bell, he said it best, is that it's disrespectful, you know, but you got to go out and you just got to play your football. You got to hit him you got to stay between the lines and you got to hit the guy. And that's exactly what he did. He rocked Juju Smith-Schuster for an incomplete pass. And a lot of people were saying, wow, it's a lot like what happened to Antonio Brown with Vontaze Burfict. It seems like the Bengals always seem to have a super hard-hitting linebacker slash safety that will just knock out the Pittsburgh Steelers' best receiver for a while when they're acting all high and mighty and lower them a little bit. So the Steelers fall to an 11-3 record. Cincinnati Bengals 3-10-1. Of course, the Jets no longer have the first overall pick. That pick now belongs to the Jacksonville Jaguars after they took a loss this week. So Trevor Lawrence will more than likely go to the Jaguars, unless of course the Jets lose the last two games of the season, and the Jaguars are able to win a game or two here and there. This Saturday, Minnesota Vikings play against the New Orleans Saints at 3:30. Expect a lot of offense from both sides of the ball. Hopefully for the Minnesota Vikings, our defense will be better. Although there's quite a big injury list for today. A lot of people were limited or did not practice, which is not good for our already banged up roster. We're honestly running out of players, and I'm kind of scared for us going into this game. Saints have Drew Brees back. They still have Alvin Kamara. Michael Thomas will not play, which is good for us. They do have Emmanuel Sanders and some of their other wide receivers. Buccaneers, I believe. Oh, no, excuse me. Vikings play Friday. Buccaneers, 49ers, and the Dolphins all play on Saturday, 12 o'clock, 3:30, and then a late night game. So watch for those games. Buccaneers, I believe, are one game away from the playoffs. 49ers are out. Cardinals are in. And the Dolphins are really inching close to getting a playoff spot, but they're going to have to beat the very decent Las Vegas Raiders, who've had a very surprising season so far, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens in that game. Moving on from the NFL to the NBA, tonight is opening night, as I said in my intro. Los Angeles Lakers play tonight as well against, I believe, the Clippers, and I believe it is the Warriors versus the Nets. Some news around the NBA: James Wiseman, second overall pick by the Golden State Warriors, will be starting tonight after not playing any preseason minutes. Very little training camp, and no offseason summer league. They think he's ready to go. He'll have to play against Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. So watch for a lot of offense from the Brooklyn Nets, and still watch for Steph Curry to do the things he does. Still best three shooter in the NBA, with two decent wings around him as well, and Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre Jr. Definitely watch for that. Of course, Brooklyn Nets get Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving back healthy, so watch for that chemistry to flourish, and a lot of offense to be going on tonight. Tonight also is ring ceremony night, where the Los Angeles Lakers, your 2019-2020 champions, will be receiving their NBA Finals rings before their matchup tonight. Of course, Los Angeles Lakers had an excellent free agency, picking up Dennis Schroeder and picking up Montrezl Harrell in a trade and in free agency. They also were able to, I don't remember they traded with the Minnesota Timberwolves. We got Jaden McDaniels out of it. I forget what they got out of it. But of course, the Lakers have just a solid roster, and look for them to be explosive again. And honestly, I believe they have one of the best chances in the West to run it back-to-back for a back-to-back championship. Tomorrow, my Minnesota Timberwolves have a season opener. I believe it's in Target Center against the Detroit Pistons. Final roster cuts were made today, and I am going to pull them up at this moment, so do not mind me. Of course, you guys cannot see the screen because I don't know how to edit. while I'm looking up this roster, please make sure you leave a like on this video if you do enjoy this. Make sure you guys leave any suggestions down below on what I should talk about next. And make sure you guys leave me suggestions on who you think's going to win the Super Bowl, who's going to win the playoffs, who's going to make the finals for the NBA, and other news that you guys know that I may not know off the top of my head. Pulling up the Minnesota Timberwolves 2020-2021 roster. Final roster cuts were today. Number 5, Malik Beasley, came over to us from the Denver Nuggets last year. Jarrett Culver, second-year rookie out of Texas Tech. Ed Davis came to us from the Jazz. He's a center forward position. Anthony Edwards, number 1 pick in this year's draft. Ashton Hagans, two-way player from Kentucky, plays point guard. Juancho Hernan-Gomez, power forward, also came over in the Denver Nuggets trade. Jake Layman, we signed in free agency last year from the Portland Trail Blazers. Jaden McDaniels was taken this year, I believe, with the 29th overall pick out of Washington University. Jordan McLaughlin on a two-way contract. We're able to sign him at the very end of signing days. Jalen Noel had an amazing preseason. I forget where he came out of, but we drafted him last year. Josh Okogie, this would be his 4th year out of USC, I believe. Naz Reid out of LSU, 2nd-year player. Ricky Rubio came to us from the Phoenix Suns. Actually, no, came to us from the Oklahoma City Thunder in a draft night trade. D'Angelo Russell came over to us from the Golden State Warriors for Andrew Wiggins last year. Karl Anthony Towns, 6th year, I believe, out of Kentucky. And then Jared Vanderbilt came over to us from the Denver Nuggets trade. So overall, very interesting roster. I believe our starters tomorrow night will be Malik Beasley at 2, D'Lo at the 1. I'm not sure at the 3 yet. I would honestly say Jarrett Culver would have the best chance. More than likely to be Juancho Hernan-Gomez at the 4 and then Towns at the 5. Now, another roster starting lineup that I could see would happen would be Ricky Rubio at the 1, D'Angelo Russell at the 2, Josh Okogie at the 3, Jake Layman at the 4, and Karl Anthony Towns at the 5. Reason being, Jake Layman is a lot bigger for a small forward position, so he has the opportunity to play power forward. Ricky Rubio is a dynamic playmaker, even in his long years in the NBA. Still very good at playmaking, very decent shooter. D'Lo is, all pro, all-star level caliber player. Plays well on and off the ball, so it really depends on what Ryan wants to do with that. Josh Okogie is one of the best wing defenders on this roster. Has an electrifying plus negative differential. And then, of course, Karl Anthony Towns, all-pro, all-NBA center, best shooting center in the NBA. You can fact check it yourself if you want to, but that's just what it is. Coming off the bench, Anthony Edwards will more than likely be the 6th man. If not, Jarrett Culver would be the 6th man. Or Malik Beasley. If Malik Beasley does not start, I can see Jalen Noel getting a good amount of minutes. I see Naz Reid getting a lot of minutes. Jared Vanderbilt getting a lot of minutes. Ed Davis certainly getting a lot of minutes as our really only, veteran center. Juancho Hernan-Gomez getting minutes if he doesn't start. So I see Ryan Saunders really, really spreading his minutes out on this really small roster. Typically, a roster will have the 16 players, which we do have. One signing or one transaction that the Timberwolves made that has a lot of Timberwolves fans upset is the releasing or the waiving of Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, 4-year player. I don't know where he went to college, but he was with the Brooklyn Nets when they went to the playoffs. With D'Angelo Russell there, was recently in Toronto. No, he didn't win a championship yet, so he doesn't have a championship. He went to the Raptors after their championship run. But he's played alongside Ed Davis and D'Angelo Russell, and he had a lot of potential to him to fit very well on this roster. But Ryan decided that something bigger is on its way, so keep your eyes out for whatever comes its way. Once again, opening night is tonight for the 2020-2021 NBA season. Make sure you tune in to the NBA on either the NBA League Pass, NBA Network, ESPN SportsCenter, wherever you can watch your teams play basketball. And make sure you enjoy basketball having it back, even though it was only a few months ago where we crowned the Los Angeles Lakers as the champion. I know I'm very excited to watch the new Minnesota Timberwolves play this year. We have a high ceiling for us this year, but it's really going to come down to how well our players developed over this short off season. So make sure you definitely pay attention to your team this year, and make sure you enjoy having the NBA back. Guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. I know 2 videos in a week. It's crazy for me. But I'm going to try and put out more videos at least once a week, maybe 2 a week, depending on how free my schedule is. But I hope you guys do enjoy that I'm trying to make an effort of putting more videos out. I definitely want to continue to put content out for you guys. It's fun for me to do, and I know it's fun for you guys when you guys leave comments. So. Oh, real quickly, I do want to talk about a couple comments that I got on my last video. One of them, I don't remember your username. I'm so sorry. If you do see this video again, know I'm talking about you. He asked me if Charlotte has a chance to make the playoffs this year, and I'm going to respond to that, and I'm going to say yes. A lot of things are looking good in Charlotte right now. PJ Washington is an up-and-coming power forward. You got your point guard of the future in either Devontae Graham or LaMelo Ball, whichever way you decide to go. Both of them are going to be very good in this league. Terry Rozier is your veteran point guard backup or even third stringer. Just got Gordon Hayward. Of course, he did just break his pinky finger again, but it's a very minor injury. He'll be back in a couple weeks, so don't worry too much about that. Cody Zeller, still Cody Zeller, so you're not really changing much from him. But I see a lot of potential in the Charlotte Hornets. I think they can easily make the 8th seed, 7th seed in the East. I'm not going to put them much higher than that just because the East is still really good this year, and it only got better in the off season. So I'm not going to have them be, I think they're going to get the 1 seed because realistically they're not going to. I don't think they're going to get the 2 seed or even the 3 seed. I think the highest they can go is the 5th seed, but even that for me is stretching it. So I think they'll either get the 6th, 7th, or 8th seed and still make playoffs. So for that, yes, I do think they'll make the playoffs. I think they have a better chance than people think they do. So I hope that answers your question well. So for real, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a like on it if you did enjoy it. Hit that subscribe button too. We are 40. I know I'm a small YouTuber. 100 subs would be huge for me if I can get 100 subs by the end of the year, which is very unlikely, but hit the subscribe button if you feel obliged to. Please hit the like button if you feel obliged to. Leave a comment down below if you guys enjoyed this content and if you guys want to see more of it. And I'll see you all very shortly. Peace.